And we're back with some more Road to Glory with Rimouski once again, as in the last video, we were kicked out in the third round in Game 7, overtime. So we were one goal away from making it to the President's Cup Finals. We just could not get past the best team in the league, not only during the regular season, but during the playoffs as well. The Cape Breton Eagles have won the President's Cup. It was a very close series. It could have gone either way. And that one is going to sting. Consider the fact that we have, I believe it's 19 20-year-olds on this entire roster. Actually, never mind. A couple of our 19-year-olds during the simulation, when I was doing the simulation off screen, it appears they turned 20 as well. So now we have, out of 25 players on our roster, only 4 of them are not 20. There's about to be a huge turnover this offseason, isn't there? I'm quite scared, I gotta say. I'm not sure what this team is going to look like going into next season, but there's only one way to find out, and of course that is simulating ahead to July 1st. Let's get to the offseason of year number 3, I believe it is now, and hopefully we don't have too much of a drop-off. So this is interesting. We're actually getting an offer from Brandon, the Brendan Wheat Kings of the WHL, to come and manage their team. And yeah, it looks like most of their good players are very much overage. I mean, they have this guy Ward, but he looks to be the only, he looks to be their only like solid prospect back there. So we may as well just stick with Rimouski. You know, we already know a couple of our prospects in the system, such as Thomas Boudreau, who is more than likely coming up this upcoming season. He's already a 2.5-star ability, 5-star potential as well, and I mean, he's already looking very solid with those offensive ratings. He honestly might be on the first line. I'm hoping Lagasse and Ang can jump up as well. I'm hoping Leland Pierce has a much better year this upcoming year than he did this past year. He only had 1 point in 26 games played. And I'm also hoping that Lucas Gauthier can make his way up to the QMJHL level, because his offensive ratings as a defenseman honestly aren't that bad. And neither are his defensive ratings. Like, he's got some just decent ratings in there all around. So I'm hoping that he can make a big jump during this offseason, and hopefully he'll be on the starting roster. But besides those prospects that I just listed off, I really have no idea what's coming in this upcoming season. So once again, let's just get up to July 1st, and hopefully we don't drop off too much. All right, so I think Jeff Taylor deserves to stay. He did a pretty solid job last season. But that being said, I am going to stick with 1-year contracts for head coaches, at least for right now, because given the, unpredictable nature of juniors, I think we should just stick to 1-year contracts for important pieces like our head coach. And the only reason I say that is because if I want to change up head coaches at some point, I don't want to have to, fire a head coach that still has term. I want to make sure that we are flexible, particularly at the head coach position. All right, here we go. 2023-24 season score. We got 4 positive categories, but unfortunately not the 2 categories that we wanted in reach to finals and 1 championship. So that means our total season score is 29 and total career score is 77. We have 5 available points. We're going to evenly distribute them, of course, between all the GM ratings. And I think I'll put the extra 1 into negotiating. Well, it is July 1st. And, this is our roster. We have no defensemen, no goaltenders, and 1 forward by the name of Leland Pierce. Man, juniors is rough. So we may as well just bring up Boudreau and Lagasse. So there you go. There's our first line. Pierce, Boudreau, and Lagasse. Oh man, this is, we have quite a busy offseason ahead of us, as we can tell. Let's see if we can manage to somehow re-sign any of the players who just left, which is just about everybody. Shumalov, I don't think I'm going to be able to re-sign him. Nope. That's unfortunate. He was a real good offensive defenseman for us. Man, we lost so many players. Look at this list. Jacob Matthew. Okay, we can get him back. But nope, never mind, because he's with the Ottawa Senators. So Ottawa just stealing all our players, I suppose. With him and Isaac Beliveau. What about Tremblay? Okay, we can sign Tremblay. Yeah, I definitely want Tremblay back. He had 51 points last year, 63 grade. I think it's definitely worth getting him back for 1 more season. We can sign Karen, Would I want Karen back though? Nah, not necessarily. He only had 14 points in 49 games as a 19-year-old. So if we have no other options, then I guess I'll go up back after him, but not a priority. Yeah, it appears we have lost just about everybody here. Charles Cote we can re-sign. He's only 19. We can re-sign Grenier. He only had 20 points though as a forward. And here's the big one. Here's the big fish that we lost. Julien Bourget. Can we go back after him? No, we cannot. We have lost so much in this offseason. It's not even funny. And Gaudio cannot re-sign either. So, yeah, this is currently our roster. And we have no players who I want to sign in the unsigned prospects list. I mean, maybe Miller for a goaltender, considering we don't have any goaltenders right now. Even if he's just a backup or a third string, yeah, I suppose we can sign Miller. Everybody else, though, either is not interested in signing with us, or I'm not interested in signing them. So we're definitely going to have to dive into free agency here. Okay, first priority is definitely goaltenders, and I did find a 19-year-old goaltender here in Mathis Rousseau. Yeah, he's the youngest good goaltender on the market. He has a 4-star ability and 5-star potential. He played last year with Halifax, 57 games, 901 save percentage. That's good enough for me. Offer a contract to him. There you go, Mathis Rousseau. Defensively, there's Charles Poirier. He looks pretty solid. He played the past 3 seasons with Shawinigan. He had 48 points last season as a defensive defenseman, apparently. So he clearly does have some offensive capabilities. 76 grade, yeah, I'm definitely signing that. Welcome to the team, Charles Poirier. There's also Matteo Mann. Solid defensively. He's got the 16 stick checking, 15 checking, 13 defensive read, 15 positioning. And it looks like he'd even hold his own offensively as well with the 14 puck handling and passing. He's played the past 3 seasons with Gatineau. 21 points last year, 61 grade. I mean, and he's 19, so, we have at least 1 year out of him. And you know what? That's all good enough for me, so let's sign him to a contract. Matteo Mann. Forward-wise, there's Jerome Nadeau. 14 offensive read, 14 defensive read, so it looks like a 2-way forward. Played last season with Roy Naranda, who I believe they actually made the finals against Cape Breton, so I certainly would not be opposed to going after him. He had a 65 grade as well. I think we'll sign him. One center who is sticking out to me here is Nolan Stewart. He's 19 years of age. Pretty well-rounded all around. Just nothing really sticks out as a strength, but he did have 53 points last year with Charlottetown and a 65 grade. And, I'm not going to take too much stock in the plus-minus considering he was on Charlottetown, and they've been pretty bad the majority of this GM mode. I mean, we obviously faced them in the playoffs last year, but, even then I think they were 32-32 and 4 or whatever it was. So we are definitely going to be signing him to a contract. Welcome to the team, Nolan Stewart. Okay, so we're looking a little bit better. We have 2 goaltenders now. We have 3 defensemen, and we have 6 forwards. Obviously, still need a lot more, but we're starting to shape up. For right now, we may as well call up Gauthier, because I want to see how he simulates at the QMJHL level, considering his offensive ratings. They're not too bad, especially for an offensive defenseman, so we'll call him up. I would like to call up Ang, if possible, because he's got some pretty solid ratings, so we may as well see how he simulates. I mean, especially given that, that number 99, he's got a lot to live up to, so yeah, sure, we'll call him up. And it appears he has changed his number from 99 to 7, so I guess he did not want that pressure on him anymore. So I believe we actually had Beijing. We did have Beijing for the past couple of years. He's been playing in the junior B team, so we may as well just get him back. It looks like there's still some good defensemen left. Noah Como. He was with Cape Breton last year, so that in itself is attractive. I don't see why not. Noah Como. Welcome to Rimouski. Thomas Turgeon. He was with Chicoutimi last year. 43 points in 66 games played, 63 grade. What about his ratings? Shot blocking's good. It looks okay. I mean, nothing that really stands out, but I mean, he's capable enough to play in the QMJHL. That's all I really care about right now. So submit offer to him, and welcome to Rimouski. What about Alexander Pellerin? He does have some pretty decent offensive attributes there with the 15 for puck handling and 14 for passing. He played last season with Victoriaville. He had 91 penalty minutes though, but he did have a 69 grade. So he played solid defensively, because I don't think 25 points would be enough to get him up to that kind of grade. I guess I'm going to trust that grade because, whether we like it or not, we are going to have to put together quite a few players here on this roster. So, Pellerin, welcome to Rimouski. So, we now have 17 players on our roster. We have 3 goaltenders. We have 7 defensemen. I'd prefer 2 more at least, 2 more defensemen, And we obviously need plenty of forwards. There is Matthew Martell, who played last season with Roy Naranda. 14 puck handling, 14 shot blocking, so looks like a solid two-way defenseman. Not much of a hitter, but he did have a 63 grade last season. And once again, he did play on the runner-ups to the championship. So Matthew Martell, welcome to Rimouski. Okay, so there's Maxime Lebeau. He has the 14 for puck handling, 14 shot blocking, 12 stick checking, or 12 checking, I should say, 13 stick checking. He played the past 3 seasons with Drummondville, 14 points last season as a defensive defenseman. That's fine, but because he did have the 61 grade, meaning that his defensive grade was likely pretty high, given that he was able to get his overall grade into the 60s as a player who doesn't really get many points. So yeah, I think I'll sign LeBeau, and that should do it for defensemen, at least for right now. Obviously, we'll see what happens going into the entry draft and the import draft and see if we can get any players out of there that might make our roster day one. But for right now, this is our defensive core. Okay, so a player who's standing out to me here, Mathis O'Driscoll. He played last season with the Titans. He had 32 points, and he had a 68 grade as a forward. Meaning, once again, that he probably had a very high defensive grade. So I'm going to sign him. Now, here's one. Raphael Blouin. He got the 71 grade with Victoriaville last year. And as we take a look at his defensive ratings, I mean, it makes sense. It certainly makes sense. So, I'm going to sign Raphael Blouin. May as well get Tristan Reed while we're at it. He had a 70 grade as well. Julien Paille, he had a 63 grade with Quebec last year. I think I'll sign one more forward in Andrew Doucette. He is 19 years of age, played last season with Roy Naranda. He had a 60 grade, 47 points, 126 penalty minutes. So these players, they love taking their penalties, apparently. He does have an injury currently, but it should be done before the season starts, so not worried about that. So I'm going to offer him a contract. There you go. And there is one more spot available on our roster, but I want to save that roster spot for whoever we draft in the import draft who happens to sign with us. So that being said, I think we are finally done with free agency. As we see our transaction log, we have just made so many moves all on the same day. But nonetheless, we will get to the drafts now. All right, here we go. QMJHL entry draft time. We're picking at number 9. I believe that is Sherbrooke's pick, as we also pick at number 16. I believe that is our own pick. So I think we'll just do the first round. We might do the second round as well. But besides that, there's not usually too many good players after that. So we'll just let the AI do the rest. So pick until human. Let's see who is available at number 9. All right, so I think I found our guy here. I don't think I really have to look much further because when compared to everybody else, Tristan Lee is much further ahead in his majority of his categories than everybody else is. I mean, Landry has him mentally. Everything else, no. Yeah, Lee is the best of the top prospects that I can find. So we're going to be taking the center, Tristan Lee. Welcome to Rimouski. So now with our second first round pick, the 16th overall pick, our own first round pick, I think we're going to take this guy, Yves Boucher, as he is ranked to be at number 5. So obviously we're way past pick number 5 now, and he's got some decent ratings on him. I could see him being ready in a year or two. I mean, his mental ratings are a bit low, particularly his team player and leadership. But he's only 15. I mean, he'll be 16 by the time the season starts. But looks pretty solid all around. He had 28 points in 26 games last year. And once again, he was ranked at number 5. And given that we're at number 16 right now, we may as well take him. So welcome to the team, Yves Boucher. Now we're at pick 34, which is round number 2. There is still a couple of players left to intrigue me. There's Xavier Harvey. There's Pierre-Maxime Laliberté. There's also Luke Campbell, who was projected to be picked at 19, and once again, we're now at 34. So I think just because of that, I might just take Luke Campbell. I mean, I hate to keep taking forwards here, but they are the best players available. Ryan Roach was projected to be picked at 26. 3.5-star potential according to the consensus, but that's an E scouting grade, so it's not exact. Yeah, okay, let's take a defenseman. Let's go Ryan Roach here with this pick. Welcome to the team. In round number 3 now, there's still quite a few players with potential. You have Coplo, Cloutier. So let's take a look at these guys. I'm liking Cloutier for his mental ratings that are a bit more developed than what we've seen from other prospects. But defensively, he's got okay ratings in there. He might be a penalty killer of the future. And his physical ratings aren't that bad. I mean, he needs to work on his strength for sure. But for a third round pick, you never know. We may as well just take a chance on him. Like I said, he might be a decent penalty killer for us in the future. Now in round number 4, there is Jeremy Lemieux, who he has a 2.5-star potential, and his mental ratings aren't too bad. Determination's at 14, team players at 10. Everything else is kind of but it's better than anything else I'm seeing at the moment, so we'll take Lemieux here. Okay, I think from this point onward, there's not really much else that I'm interested in, so we're going to have the CPU finish the draft here. And now we have the American draft, and it already looks like there's not much for us here. There's Timothy Smith, who has the best potential, who has a 2-star potential with the E scouting grade, so I'm just going to take him, and then I think that'll be about it for, this is, the American draft really is not great here in the QMJHL. And here's the draft that you can really get some good players out of, the CHL import draft. So here we go. We may as well see where we're picking here. And we are picking at number 46. So that's rough. But there is apparently a 4.5-star goalie available in Carl Nielsen. Last season, he had an 898 save percentage. The season before, he had a 917 and then an 868. So nothing too impressive. Obviously, he, didn't play too many games. But the thing here is that he was projected to be picked at number 6. Once again, we're picking at 46. So I think, this is a no-brainer here. Carl Nielsen, it's got to be him. I hope that he signs with us, because if he does, that would be quite the significant add if he is, any good at this level. Carl Nielsen, welcome to Rimouski. And our second round pick, not looking as favorable here. You have 1.5-star potentials at best. There is Beat Mueller here, who is an offensive defenseman, 21 points in 24 games last year and a 64 grade. He is the 1-star potential, but it is also the E scouting grade, so that's not exact. So I think I'm going to take a chance on him. Welcome to Rimouski, Beat Mueller. And there is the import draft. So I believe with that is the offseason. So now we're just going to see if we can sign our import draft picks. And Nielsen is not interested in talking to teams in Canada right now. Awesome. What about Beat Mueller? Doesn't want to leave his team. Okay. So that was a complete waste of 2 picks. I kind of wish that you can get an idea of what the player wants to do before you draft them. As we take a look at Carl Nielsen, it says his junior preference is juniors. So I have to assume that he wants to play with a junior team, but nope, apparently not. Anyway, with that being done, I think we're going to leave things off here. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next one when we hopefully start the Year 4 simulation with Rimouski. See you guys then.